Yo, what is up, my Foxy family? So today's video is going to be a little bit different from my normal rants. I already talked about this during a stream I did, and I figured that almost every single point that I would say in a video was kind of already in this stream. So what I wanted to do, instead of my normal rant where I sit down here and there's a lot of edits and I yell at you guys and it's kind of funny and bombastic, I figured the best way to kind of format this would just be kind of take the stream where I talked about it and give it straight to you guys. There's not a whole lot of points in the stream where I take a break or I go anywhere, so it's pretty quick and concise, and honestly, I want to make sure that you guys get the full unedited version of both his video and mine. Now, full disclosure, I did not finish his video. I got about halfway through before I started skipping through to his points because the video's arguments are so bafflingly bad that after a while, you can only argue with a guy who is dealing with arguments that are in bad faith for so long before you eventually kind of stop giving a shit. Now, if you guys would like to see this rant in a more Pertlight style where I sit down and I rant to you guys in the camera with a lot of editing, let me know in the comments below. I will more than happily target this guy again because this video is atrociously bad. With that being said, hopefully you guys do enjoy it. And again, if you guys want to see a rant where I properly sit down and go in depth to the whole video, the full 35-minute goddamn video, I will. I don't mind. Just let me know in the comments below because it's going to take a hot minute. With that being said, hopefully you guys are ready. And I'll see you at the end of this hour and 40 actual minutes of me ripping apart this turd.
Pertlight.
Let's go into this video. So this guy, SK, I've seen him before. He's made some videos in the past that I've seen, and I think he's a bit of a dunderhead. A little bit. And I haven't seen too much of his channel, so let's keep that in mind. I'm not trying to be mean. As you can see, I'm not punching down. He has 45.2K. Okay. He has videos like Peter has no backbone debunked in 12 minutes, which is funny because he absolutely does not in the Insomniac games, but we can ignore that for now. So he has made some videos, right? And some of them I'm like, no. It's like he goes debunking the worst Superman review and then goes, can you debunk a reviewer? Like, bro, get off your high horse. But yeah. Anyways, let's do this.
The Amazing Spider-Man is not amazing.
It is.
Certainly had potential, especially with how great of a casting Andrew Garfield is, but
He
they
is.
were a mess in the end and certainly took a hit on my hope for Spider-Man in movies.
Yeah, when it comes to Amazing Spider-Man 2, that movie's dog shit. It's hated by LARPers. It is, yeah, it's hated by LARPers everywhere. But anyways, let's hear him out.
Until Into the Spider-Verse happened.
Hey.
What's especially frustrating about the first one is that there is a good movie in here. It doesn't need to be reworked from the ground up like the sequel does.
I actually agree with that. The second one does need to get reworked from the ground up. There's a lot of good things in the sequel, a lot of good things, but in order for those good things to like actually be elevated to where they need to be, I do think, excuse me, you need to rework the entire script to a certain degree. Or you can just cut out a bunch of shit and just focus on what's there actually. So maybe not reworking necessarily. Excuse me. Good title potential.
There are a lot of moments in isolation that are good, even amazing in this movie. But that of course doesn't fix the many problems in the story. Let's start off with Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard. The main issues in his plotline.
So this one's gonna be different. I know, yeah, he goes by like specifically things that he likes or things that are like problems based on categories. And as you can see, it's to me, it's a little strange the categories we're going over. So it's the Lizard, Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, Uncle Ben, Oscorp makes no sense, and Captain Stacy. Now I will lie, I have only seen half of this video. And I was like, I need to talk about this because how bad this is. But just from that alone, I'm like, I don't believe you're gonna have very good points. But let's hear what he has to say. Pertlight thought Andrew getting webbed all over his face was hot. You're so real.
Are the setup for his origin, the way his character is explored, and his overall plan in the story.
Okay.
Origin for the Lizard doesn't even make any sense.
Okay, the origin for the Lizard does not make any sense. How so? Let's hear
The
it.
reason he hasn't tested the formula on himself yet is because they haven't done human trials yet.
Yes. Okay.
Human trials up until next week.
However, Ratha disagrees and decides they need to start human trials now, which
Okay.
Kurt refuses because of how dangerous that would be.
Well, it's not that it's dangerous necessarily. I guess that is part of it, but it's that it's untested. They only just started testing on mice, and the mice, or they only just got it to work on a mouse. So the problem is, that's a giant leap. You got to go to chimps next, and then you can go to people. You know what I mean? Like there's a ladder here. But the guy's so desperate to save Norman Osborn that you have to get this shit accelerated.
Human trials. Where on earth are you going to find the people to volunteer?
As far as anyone's concerned, it's for a winter flu shot. I might think the Veterans Hospital is a place to start.
Okay.
You gotta be kidding me.
I don't think I am.
So, right off the bat, this has a lot of problems.
You son of a bitch.
Why does this have problems?
Do you have any idea what kind of trouble you're in?
First of all, why would Rotha ever tell Kurt about this plan?
Why would he tell... What? Because he's saying, hey, we need to get this shit we need to start working on human trials, and you're the lead scientist on this project? What? Dr. Connors is the lead scientist on this project, so he's talking to him and say, hey, we need to push this faster. That's why he tells him.
Kurt has made it very clear that he doesn't support human trials against people's consent.
Okay, after the plan is told to him, yes.
It's not just unethical, but it's also highly illegal.
Okay, yes. It makes sense. They want to crack down on forcing it to others, yeah.
And you're telling him to his face that you're gonna do this by sneaking the formula in winter flu shots for a group of veterans.
Yes, because they're the ones missing limbs, yes.
Kurt can easily dial 911 that you're about to poison people, and the police would immediately interfere so the plan doesn't get carried out.
Okay. No? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Okay. You know what? Let's run this by. Okay. This is the company, by the way, that killed Peter Parker's parents. The same company that did that, by the way. So let's run this back. This guy leaves. Dr. Connors picks up the phone, tells him, hey, this guy is going to this place. He's going to drop off this shit. He's going to start fucking giving to everybody. What are the cops supposed to do with that situation? What are they going to do with all that information? So they follow this guy there. They get there. And they're like, hey, is this true? And he's like, well, no, that's not true at all. Cops need a little more fucking evidence. It was a conversation. That's not how that works. That's like the least useful piece of fucking evidence ever. What are the cops gonna do? All he has to do is fucking slip it into his coat jacket and they'll never know he had it on him. What?
What exactly are you gonna tell the police when they question you?
They won't question you because it will never get that far. And even if they do, guess what? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as long as you can say, I don't have anything, see? They'll check your suitcase, slide it into your fucking pocket, and then boom, they'll never fucking know. And then you go and kill Dr. Connors. And Dr. Connors, by the way, you'll later hear his argument here. What's going on? What I miss? Or talking shit about this guy's awful, amazing Spider-Man video. Ugh, this one right here. Ugh. It's a terrible video, but we're getting into it. We only just started, so you're coming at a good time. Pretend this could happen. He tells some whistleblower, and eventually the police and government find out. He'll shut down his research. He is desperate for himself. Exactly, yes. Yeah, absolutely. There's so many levels to why this doesn't make any sense. But again, I think we debunked this one pretty quickly. So let's keep going.
I wanted it to happen. Is that wrong?
Okay, I don't know if he likes this show or not, but the fact that he used that clip did actually I actually had like a vein burst in my brain there for a second from pure rage of hearing this line. I fucking hate this show. Oh my God.
Second of all, how would he pull this off? He would have to drive all the way to the hospital with whatever team he's working with, then inject the formula into the flu shots.
What? Let me run that back.
All the way to the hospital with whatever team he's working with, then inject the formula into the flu shots.
Am I missing something here? Why does this not make sense?
How can he be sure that this would bypass safety inspections before injecting the
This guy's actually the most Redditor shit. He actually just genuinely Poindextered us. He really just went, how does that not breach safety protocols? Have you ever considered that it's a multi-billion-dollar company that can probably pay off the small, tiny little veterans hospital? The Evil Indian has connection. Can you do that? Yeah. Yeah, that's like very fucking obvious. This is the same company that killed their lead scientist on the Spider Project and why the Spider Project is at a standstill. He works for a building. Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck is what? Actually, that does breach safety protocol written in section 7.BC here, and it says that you cannot inject those serums at Veterans Hospital. So, explain that, amazing Spider-Man. What the fuck are you talking about?
Flu shots. This is gonna sound awful when I say this, but we're talking about villain plans here, and if they make sense. If Ratha wanted...
Also, this guy likes the Superman movie, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. He likes the Superman movie, the James Gunn one. Just want to throw that out there.
To test subjects for discrete experiments, why not use homeless people on the street?
Because they're not missing limbs? What? That guy doing an illegal thing. Does he know it's illegal?
If they disappear, it's not going to raise many eyebrows.
Yeah, but they're not missing limbs.
And you don't have to risk getting caught at the hospital.
Okay, but they're not missing limbs.
Even the Venom movie understood this. They executed the idea of villains using human test subjects in a way that actually makes sense. Third of all, let's say the plan does work, and the lizard formula is used.
I'm sorry, I genuinely glazed over there for a second. Did you just fucking say the Venom movie made more sense than the fucking Amazing Spider-Man?
Disappear, it's not going to raise many eyebrows, and you don't have to risk getting caught at the hospital. Even the Venom movie understood this. They executed the idea of villains.
Are they missing limbs? Do they need to be missing limbs for this? No, they're literally just bodies so that the symbiote can get into. It's a totally false. It's total false equivalence.
Using human test subjects.
Nor would veterans be missing either. That's the sad reality. Yes.
Makes sense. Third of all, let's say the plan.
Also, you're paying off the entire hospital for silence, basically. And just wait till you hear this part.
Does work, and the lizard formula is used on the veterans. Let's even say that the formula is harmless and heals the veterans as planned. You do realize that Kurt's cross-species project is public knowledge, correct?
Okay. What? Okay.
I read your book. Do you really think it's possible, cross-species genetics?
So, if veterans with lost limbs or other visible injuries get miraculously healed after taking the flu shots...
I'm home right now, and I want to go home type vibe right now. That's valid.
You do realize they'll know this was your formula once
you
actually go public with the project as Kurt intended.
How are they going to know it's your formula if it was in the flu shot? That's first. Second, why would you not buy their silence? Third, more importantly, instead of just buying their silence, you could just, again, kill them. It's not hard. Fourthly, there's any number of fucking reasons why this could absolutely be explained. It's very simple. It's like, you could also just say, like, any number of things happen. Hey, sign this non-confidential, sign this fucking, oh my god, what's it called? NDA, there we go. Non-disclosure agreement. Jeez, I don't know why I keep trying to say confidentiality. Have them sign an NDA and say, hey, you get to keep your arm. If you sign this NDA and say you had nothing to do with this. You know how many veterans who lose limbs, if they had the chance to get it back, how quickly they'd be like, cool, sounds good. Like, what? And again, they make very clear in this scene, they're desperate to get this fucking shit out there as quickly as possible. It's told as being desperate since Osborn's died. Exactly, yes, literally at the same time Jake said that, I said it. Yes, they literally talk about how desperate they are because Norman Osborn is dying, which, by the way, he does address, but we'll get to that in a second.
Right? That means investigators will suspect that Oscorp was...
Why would there be investigators? You're acting like they would know some criminal shit happened.
...involved in using an untested formula on veterans through duplicitous means. Even...
Sure, if someone were to say something, but they don't think anyone's going to say something.
If the formula works, they're still showing up on the law enforcement's radar for this. And of course...
Why would they show up on the law enforcement's radar? What are you talking about? I'd like a few upgrades since I'm getting my limbs back. You're so real. You're so real, though.
Of course, there would be a whole can of worms for if this formula didn't work, and ended up killing those veterans or causing other harmful outcomes.
Okay, like what?
What are you gonna say when the police question you on that?
If they died because of a complication while they're getting their flu vaccine at a hospital? Any number of things can happen at a hospital, especially when getting a vaccine. And again, it's really cool. You can make them disappear too. Like, it's not hard. That's why they're going for veterans, because people don't care about veterans. That's kind of one of the ideas here. This is a plan on the formula. Yeah. Like, what?
I wanted it to happen. Is that wrong?
Fourth of all, if the point of this project from Oscorp's perspective is that they need to save Norman as soon as possible...
Okay.
He doesn't have time. Norman Osborn is dying, Dr. Connors. Save him. We both lose our heads.
Then why focus on testing regrowing limbs? Norman isn't...
So this is where I get pissed off because he's using knowledge from a future movie to talk shit about this one. We don't know what Norman Osborn is dying in the first one, so you cannot criticize the first one. You can criticize the second one. The second one, I'm all for criticizing because that does not make sense, and they don't explain it in the second one. There's no logic behind it. Why are you using this shit to heal something that's completely unrelated? However, I can simply come up with a counter for that, actually, just making shit up and say it's probably on the basis that if it's able to regrow limbs, it can probably regrow and save dying cells. That would be a very simple conclusion with that one, I would think. But again, regardless of that, roll back the fucking tape. That is the sequel movie. That is the sequel movie. That is a sequel, not this one. We're talking about this one. That's the sequel. You can criticize the sequel for that. I think that's a valid criticism, although, again, I think you could absolutely kind of go, whoop, and connect those dots, but I guess it doesn't connect it, and it's not exactly clear, so I can kind of understand, but that is the sequel. We don't know why they're studying this in the first one. That's not the fucking point. Regeneration of limbs, regeneration of cells as a whole. Duh. You know, exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yes, it absolutely does kind of lead in that research, but again, I think it's a fair criticism to criticize the sequel because it doesn't explain that. In the first one, we don't know what Norman Osborn is dying from. It could be for fucking anything, so you don't know how this is applicable to him. We don't know. It could be literally, it could be cancer, as simple as actual real life cancer. And that would make sense for it. It allows you to get more antibodies in your system that help fight back against the cancer. You can make yourself literally, you can make the cure to cancer. It's very basic research that helps Connors get his arm back, but also will help Norman Osborn. They're running out of time though, and they need a... Hi. You want to say anything? You're just here? Okay. So again, it's just stupid. It's like, that's not this movie. That's the sequel that you're really criticizing here. I love you. And yeah, that's just dumb. It's not applicable.
Suffering from lost limbs, he's suffering from a sickness that's killing him. Yet this experiment is entirely fixated on limb regrowth.
Again, one, you're talking about the sequel, not the first one. We know it's a sickness, but that doesn't have anything. Again, cell regeneration is what they're talking about. If you can do cell regeneration, that means you can regenerate dying cells in your body. Super health drug seems dumb. Why would Osborn want it? They're probably expecting this movie to be such a banger that they start advertising the sequel too hard, basically losing the plot in the long run. You're right about the hospital bill point. They're probably expecting this movie to be such a banger they start advertising the sequel so hard and basically lose the plot in the long run. No, but again, in this film that doesn't make sense because again, even then, there's still, as Jake and I were saying, you can just use the argument that they're regenerating cells. That argument can still be used to save Norman Osborn's life, regardless of what problem he's having. Bleh.
Many of these wonderful creatures have so brilliantly adapted that they can regenerate entire limbs at will.
Exactly. His whole point is cell regrowth. Not just arm regeneration, it's cell regrowth as a whole.
Trying to harness this capability and transfer it into our host's
because if you can get an arm to grow back, you can get anything to grow back.
Freddy, the three-legged mouse. Cross-species genetics is finally working.
Hazings?
Lizard DNA to help Freddy regrow that limb.
Why is this the plan to save Norman? Regenerating his limbs wouldn't save his life.
Damn, I'm late. You're good. We only just started on this dog shit video, so you can still watch it with us.
It's not like lizards are known for being completely immune to dying of sicknesses. This can...
What are you talking about? What? What are you fucking on about, bro? Huh? What are you fucking talking about? You fucking troglodyte. What the fuck do you mean? Wizards can still fucking die from illnesses, guys. What the fuck is going on here? Wizards we can fucking sick and die, fucking idiot. Wizards we have fucking cold blood, not warm blood. So this is clearly not gonna fucking work. Fucking idiot. What are you talking about? What? I actually muted it.
It's known for being completely immune to dying of sicknesses.
Yeah, but they can regrow limbs. Forgot that being a lizard wasn't the plan. Yeah, he did. Legitimately. He thinks the whole point is to turn everyone into lizards already. That comes later. Much later. A little technology would totally be reserved to retrieve a certain type. Cough, cough files. Oh, dude, 100%. True. Yeah, 100%. That's also another argument you can make for his previous point about how, like, oh, well, why would he go to this hospital for veterans? It's like, dude, you can absolutely only save this thing. It's like, you don't have to make it public. Kill Dr. Connors after you're done with him, after he makes the fucking illness, and then just give it to all your rich buddies. Boom. Or you would capitalize it and send it out to everyone and be like, make us... Insulin is so crazy expensive. Do you think they wouldn't do that with this? They wanted the gene-specific regeneration to be applicable overall. Exactly.
And their test subjects weren't mice with a sickness comparable to Norman's. The test subjects were three-legged mice. That's what they're specifically testing for. So how would this...
Because if you can regrow an arm by regenerating cells, you can regenerate cells across the fucking body! And arms tend to be obvious when they're fucking gone! What? Bro, watch the movie in reverse. I don't know how else to explain this.
even save Norman's life? What does this actually achieve for him?
I don't know! I don't know! It's almost like he's dying or something!
And here's another thing. Not all veterans have the same disease Norman...
They literally say veterans because veterans are known for missing limbs from combat. So if they're missing limbs from combat, you can get those limbs to fucking regrow, which is the primary test for this research. You fucking idiot. What are you talking about? You literally said earlier, if these veterans all of a sudden start regrowing limbs, you know it's working and that could be a problem. So you clearly know what the intention is. You're just making up shit.
Has. So random samples of veterans won't give reliable information.
If all these veterans like immediately start regrowing their arms and legs that are fucking missing, I think we have a clear-cut example of this shit working. Oh, what? Alright, well, John, relax.
Also, in trying to make a threat to Kurt, Rotha basically reveals that Oscorp had something to do with Richard Parker's
He doesn't reveal it. He reminds him.
death, which is something Kurt could testify to if this does go to court.
Is this guy retarded? Does he think the system always works with no problems? You're using clips from Daredevil, which the entire show constantly shows you how the system fails. Constantly. Over and over and over. The entire plot of season 2 is how the system failed the Punisher. That's like literally the entire point of that season. What? Ah! What are you talking about? Why would he go to the... What are they supposed to say? If they goes to court. Yeah, if they go to court. They never will. Creating replication technology would be more practical at this point, man. Just clone healthy cells and compensate the difference. I don't know, but I've watched enough Star Trek to make something sound cool. Dude, no, you're right, though. If you can regrow my arm, you can regrow fucking anything from the body. And this guy is doing research on regrowing the arm, so that's what he's mostly focused on. It's cell regrowth, though. So literally it can be applied across anything. Now, in real life, what this would be, it would be more of a serum specifically targeting the arm. Now, that was where you would start to see this argument kind of fall apart if they said that in the movie, but they don't. It's for regrowing any limb, which is cell regeneration. And cell regeneration can, and even if it was just for one arm, that's still cell regeneration. You can absolutely use that to target other cells in the body then.
It's a little late for shock and indignation, Kurt. About 15 years late.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
Richard Parker wore it well. Unused a cheap suit, as it was then.
I had nothing to do with that.
Is that what you told his son, Peter?
I don't know
Literally using the example, proving that it wasn't a threat, it wasn't a threat, it was a reminder.
what you're saying.
And again, another reason why Connors would not go to the cops, because he would probably be arrested for not fucking talking to the police and saying, hey, by the way, I knew this was happening and I didn't say anything because I wanted to further my own career. Like, yeah, that's a pretty big omission that can get you in trouble, and then you'll never have access to that serum again that you've been working your entire life to get, and you'll never have your fucking arm back.
You don't know, or you don't want to know? I'll remind you what happened. Richard Parker
Imagine the cost to replace or regrow. Oh, dude, it'd be fucking millions minimum.
said just about the same thing then that you are saying now. The clock is ticking, Dr. Connors.
He's essentially saying that going against Oscorp will result in what happened to Richard Parker. Making the threat in this way requires you to imply that you were involved in that.
No way. Really? First of all, I don't have to imply it. It's all about how you say it. It's not true. But I will say that I don't think he was involved necessarily, but he knows that Oscorp was involved, so he's using that threat against fucking Connors, saying, hey, by the way, if you don't do this, we will fucking kill you. Without directly saying that, because that would be illegal and that would be a crime. But again, if you just make it a threat, a vague threat that you don't, implicate yourself for, you can absolutely say that and you can get away with it. That's very, not get away, but you get my point. Connors has nothing he can do here. He was vaguely threatened by a coworker. That's nothing. The cops can't do shit with that other than tell the coworker, hey, don't do that again. People pretend scientists are robots and not people with their own selfish desires. Exactly.
And this will have implications in the second movie, but we're not
So we're not talking about the second movie, though, genius. We're talking about the first one, so keep it on fucking track.
there yet. If anything, this simply gives Connors more ammo that he can use against you.
Good job.
What happens if the court questions you on that as well?
Why do you keep going back to court? They're not in court. They never went to court. This has never been said. Why didn't he call the police? Why is the film implying he would have such feelings for dead people? Is he threatening it? Exactly. Like, what are you talking about? This would imply that there was something criminal that was investigated and found. They haven't found anything. Holy right, you're not wrong.
I wanted it to happen. Is that wrong?
I won't.
The formula is ours now anyway. I'm shutting it down. Have your office cleared out by the morning.
Okay, and you're just gonna leave him there unattended with the formula as well?
Welcome to the 110.
He didn't even have security watch him or anything. This entire exchange is why Kurt injects himself with the lizard formula.
Why would you expect him to inject himself with a highly experimental drug? This was done out of extreme desperation. He only has a few hours to clear out his entire office, and he's using this time to go, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I've waited long enough. So definitely did the shadier side quests in the franchise. Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of which, that doesn't make sense either. Kurt knows how dangerous an untested formula is, and that Rotha is on his way to potentially poison people. Why doesn't he file a report?
Because he would get shot and killed. That is why. I didn't think I'd have to spell it out, but clearly I do.
Why doesn't he try to stop him straight away?
What? Attack him? What do you mean? What? Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking jump on and rip his fucking throat out with my teeth. Trying to subdue him? What are you gonna do? Dude, then you are a criminal. Connors would then be a criminal for doing that.
This formula could kill him for all he knows, and even if
he doesn't think about that because in the moment he's desperate. He realizes his one chance of regrowing his arm. The guy literally tells him, there goes your chance of regrowing your arm. And Connor's like, fuck, he's right. Okay, I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'm gonna get this back. It doesn't make sense. Why is he desperate? Doesn't he have some weird deep... Exactly. Probably knew he was retarded, so they left him in a room to see what happens, because technically he's covered by insurance now. Oh, again, let's say hypothetically, there were security guards watching him. The serum's in his room. This entire fucking, like, shit, like, lab is his. That's his lab. He's running this whole operation. Now it's owned by Oscorp, but you know what I mean. He's running it. So security would just be outside and be like, okay, cool. He would run in there, grab it really quick, inject himself really quick. It wouldn't change anything if he had security with him. Like, what are you talking about?
if he grew desperate, he could save the formula for himself and bring it with him. He didn't have to take it straight away, which is completely at odds with his earlier precaution to not do human trials immediately.
Again, he was desperate. Any number of reasons why he couldn't have taken it with him. Actually, no. Okay, here's an example. Most, like, liquid medications or vaccines or anything like that, they have expirations on them. They don't work indefinitely. So if you have that and you grab it, you only have a very limited amount of time. Plus, I think it was refrigerated in that scene. You can see mist coming out because it was probably refrigerated. Because, again, that shit needs to be refrigerated to last longer. So if it's not going to last, you need to use it either now or never. This is basic shit.
Immediately. The setup for his transformation.
What if the imaginary security guards pat him down? Well, dude, oh my god, that's actually a really good point. Hey, we want to make sure you're not taking anything that was like within this fucking area. We want to make sure you don't do that. That's a really good point.
Doesn't make sense, and it's not even within his character to do so by this point.
What do you mean? It's absolutely 100% only within his character to do this. It would only make sense for him to do this. He knows he can't get it to fucking... He knows he won't have it for long before he needs to take it or throw it out because it will be worthless. He does not have time. He doesn't have the money to fucking use a big... or to create a giant expensive fucking lab somewhere. He only creates the lab in the sewers after he becomes a lizard because I'm pretty sure he starts stealing shit. Or maybe he moves his own custom little lab down there. He's countering his own argument. He has done this like twice now. And also, by the way, the reason why the small lab works when this lab didn't was because now it's more focused on perfecting the lizard aspect of this, when before it was specifically limb regrowth, which wasn't working. At least not fully working. You haven't tried space drugs yet? You're so right. You're so 100% correct. He is countering his own argument. He has done this like twice now. I know, it's bad. It's really bad, dude. I got like, again, I actually, oh, you know what? I didn't even get to this. I got to like, I think like 10 minutes in. 10-ish minutes in, and I was like, this is fucking horrible.
Already doesn't work.
Emma, it's Kurt. Is he there?
I'm afraid not, Doctor. The car's taking him to the Veterans Hospital in Brooklyn.
No, he can't, Emma. You have to stop him.
So Kurt starts struggling with his arm and realizes it's having negative side effects. So instead of calling the police about it, he calls some random person.
No, you literally just showed that. I don't know how you didn't fucking catch that in editing. No, it's the exact opposite. His arm regrows, and he's calling the guy to say, hey, I did it. It works. That's what his goal is. And he's like, and then she's like, oh, you know, he's going there right now to distribute this to the fucking, the hospital staff and basically get them to sign all this shit. And he's like, no, have him come back. We're at the point. I just experiment. It totally works fine. We don't have to do that. And then it's like, well, he's already across the bridge. We can't call him. That's when the stress starts pushing the lizard shit out. And he's like, oh, fuck, I gotta go.
Person on the phone about it, then tries entering a taxi to reach Rotha.
What? What are you talking about?
This wouldn't...
Again, well, yeah, when you fucking completely lie about the sequence of events, it does kind of come across stupid.
Stop Rotha, even if he somehow got there in time.
This wouldn't stop Roth. How do you know? He's desperate. What are you talking about? Why'd I be freaking out? My hand came out looking like that. No, I agree. But again, at that point, his fucking mind is clearly shifting when he's starting to become the lizard. Like, you can tell. It's very much like he's starting to fucking become an animal.
Throughout all of this traffic and just
turns around. Why didn't he call the police? Why is he telling the company you don't have it? Exactly, 100%.
Immediately spotted his car. What's his plan when he does find him? To knock on the door and hope he unlocks it?
So, first of all, he's not planning to meet him there. He's planning on meeting him at the hospital. He doesn't know about the traffic just yet. If he did see him in the traffic, he probably would get out and say, hey, listen, man, we gotta talk. We're good. We're totally safe. We're fine. Look, it's working. He's still countering? Yeah.
Why not just get the police involved? What makes...
Is this guy like a Blue Lives Matter guy? I'm not trying to get all political. I'm dead ass because there's no way he's not with how much he's sucking the hairy nutsack of the New York Police Department. What is happening here? Why does he think the police are just going to do everything? Like, what? Okay.
This even worse is that he eventually turns into the lizard and...
Do you think he really thought he was going to turn into a giant fucking lizard? There's no way you're going to try to pull that argument, right?
Once he does, they make it very clear that his character changes and his motivation becomes more extreme.
Yes. That basically mean his brain is shifting, so he has the memories of being human, but he is now no longer human, so his way of thinking... Exactly, 100% yes, John, yes.
I want to create a world without weakness.
This was taken to an extreme degree, causing the lizard to try forcing his cure onto everyone else.
Then he tried to turn the whole city into lizards.
Yes.
Crazy.
So if that's true, then why is he still targeting Rotha?
Because that plan wasn't in motion. Again, when you watch the whole movie and then change the sequence of events, it does start to like not make sense. But if you watch it in the correct order and understand how the story's actually progressing, it actually makes a lot more sense. He was an animal in this moment. That's like the whole point of this scene. That's why he's like, oh shit, that was weird. I turned into a giant lizard man. Now, hey, hang on a second. What if everyone else was able to turn into a giant lizard man? Then we would have no problems. Now, hang on a second. If everyone, we'd also regrow limbs. And we wouldn't have cancer because we can regrow those cells too. This is the perfect specimen. Hyper rapid mutation radicalized him. That's so weird. Yeah. Like, what?
Why is he still trying to stop him from spreading the formula to others? I don't
even think he's trying to stop him. I think he's just trying to kill him at this point. Like, his mind is so fucking animalistic.
He wanted to give them this cure that evidently works on him. What motivation does he have to stop Rotha at this point? Why not go back to Oscorp, use more of the lizard formulas that he had laying around, then take the Ganali device and finish his plan?
Because his plan wasn't set that way yet. And the Ganali device was inside Oscorp. He had to, as the lizard, grab it and take it all the way up to the rooftop. You can literally see that in the shot here.
Him from spreading
I think it's right here.
Others. I thought he wanted to give them this cure that the Oscorp...
Yeah, right here, right here.
What motivation...
You can see him grabbing it and he's jumping outside and crawling up the fucking side of the tower. I think it's just raw vengeance. Yeah, exactly. You need a lot of Mary Jane if you need any of this makes sense. Or does Snoop Dogg and Celebrity? Yeah, 100%.
Back to Oscorp, use more of the lizard formulas that he had laying around.
But I'm so confused by this statement. You use more lizard formula, or he could just use wait, hang on. How do we know he didn't just grab more anyways? There's any number of reasons why this doesn't make because he's already made the fucking thing before. He knows the fucking the vaccines like the oh my god, what the word? The chemistry to make it. He already knows how to make it.
Then take the Ganali device.
So he makes it himself.
And finish his plan already.
Again, he doesn't have this plan in set. This is like halfway into the movie he comes up with this plan.
He doesn't actually have to go to the sewers to pull this off. He can go to Oscorp and release the formula to the city like he was planning. From the jump, his plan already doesn't make sense.
No, the plan makes perfect sense in terms of his villain motivations. It actually makes all the sense it needs to.
He eventually learns that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and is also aware that the lizard formula wears off after a while. In fact, he increases the dosage for this reason.
In attempt to repress regenerative relapse, dosage has been increased to 200 milligrams.
So if he knows he runs out eventually, then why didn't he bring spares with him?
I'm sorry, wait, did we jump ahead, or what the fuck is he even talking about? I'm so confused.
He's also aware that the lizard formula wears off after a while. In fact,
we've hit some chemicals before he died. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Increases the dosage for this reason.
In attempt to repress regenerative relapse.
Yes, they did. They fired him. Yes. Yes, Jake. But I think he's saying that as the lizard, why didn't he crash in there and steal more and then throw it up in the air like immediately right off the bat? But again, that wasn't his plan. That's why he's working. Exactly. Yes. That's why he's in the series. Yes.
Has been increased to 200 milligrams.
So if he knows he runs out eventually, then why didn't he bring spares with him?
Because he didn't know he was going to turn into a giant fucking lizard? Did you watch the movie?
We know he can do this because he literally does exactly that in the...
Yes, because that's when he realizes that that's when he fully comes up with the plan to turn the city into lizards. Yes.
Final act, when he uses the formula on others. The thing stop Rotha from doing earlier for some reason. If he didn't...
Because at that point, he didn't have the plan to do this. At all.
Run out, then he would have finished off Spider-Man very easily.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Even then, I don't see the point of going to Spider-Man at all. He already has the resources he needs and is clearly fine with using them in the final act. Even with Spider-Man still active, he can simply just go to Oscorp by using the sewers to get there the same way he did to get to Peter's school, and under his perspective, he knows he can beat Spider-Man if he happens to show up by chance.
Dude, this guy's losing. He's losing me so fucking quickly. Hang on.
Stop Rotha from doing earlier for some reason. If he didn't run out, then he would have finished off Spider-Man very easily.
Yes.
Then, I don't see the point of going to Spider-Man at all. He already has the resources he needs and is clearly fine with...
Because Spider-Man's the one person who can stop him and has stopped him in the past. I bet he thought the homie was turning into a Ninja Turtle.
Using them in the final act. Even with Spider-Man still active, he can simply just go to Oscorp by using the sewers.
And guess what? Spider-Man ends up stopping him. This is why he tried to kill him. This guy lost me. Are we still talking about the bridge sequence? Dude, I don't know, Jake. I'm lost too. I think he's just kind of rambling now. Like, he's just throwing in all these points into one. But again, none of it makes sense. He's like, the whole thing is like, well, why didn't he just like turn the city into lizards and not kill Spider-Man? It's like, well, Spider-Man's the guy who's trying to stop him. And he realizes that.
To get there the same way he did to get to Peter's...
I'm bagging. I need to hear that again.
To stop Rotha from doing earlier for some reason. If he did...
So, okay, at this point, his argument is, why didn't he immediately after turning into Lizard, go back to Oscorp, grab all the vials, go up there with the Ganali... I think it's called Ganali? I think it's Ganali. With the Ganali device, go up there, put the thing in, and shoot up in the air, turning everyone into lizards immediately. The obvious counter-argument to that is the very fucking clear, concise, obvious answer that that was not his plan at the time, because this was his first time turning into a fucking lizard, which he obviously did not expect to happen.
Run out, then he would have finished off Spider-Man very easily. And
his argument here is now, it's like, well, if you didn't run out, then when you tried to go kill Spider-Man, you would have been able to kill Spider-Man. And it's like, that's not even entirely necessarily true. You could have probably, but we don't see like that being 100%, especially again, because it's like, what?
Then, I don't see the point of going to Spider-Man at all. He already has the resources he needs and is clearly fine with using them in the final act.
Also, again, another thing is that when he is in the lizard, that's not him in his correct mental state. It's very, very obvious, especially by the ending when he saves Peter instead of letting him fall to his death. He saves Peter. It's very obvious he's not in his right mental state when he's the lizard as well, by the way. So him going to kill Peter, I don't even think that was fully the intention. I think he was just like, all right, I'm going to go kill him now. Doesn't he also modify the serum to be stronger? I can't remember anymore. This guy's editing has fried my brain. Yes, he does. As he goes on, he makes it stronger and stronger. That's why at the end of the movie, he actually has to be stopped with the cure. That's the only way to stop it. Because he's releasing the perfected serum on the people of New York. That's why those SWAT members turning into lizards was a big deal.
And with Spider-Man still active, he can simply just go to Oscorp by using the sewers to get there, the same way he did to get to Peter's school, and under his perspective, he knows he can beat Spider-Man if he has—
Oh, also another reason why this scene doesn't work, to be fair, because there's a little bit of a criticism here I can throw. I can throw a criticism here at the movie. It is very weird that he goes up trying to kill Spider-Man, throws him into a wall, and then runs away, and then immediately starts to do his master plan. That is a little bit weird pacing-wise, because it's like, why didn't you just finish the job? Why did you run away? It's like, well, he's probably turning it back into to fucking Connors. The reason why this actually happens is because in a deleted scene, that is exactly what happens. And he talks to Peter, and Peter and him go to his lab together, and then through a series of events, he turns into the lizard and kills Rotha because he comes back, which is also another weird thing. That character just disappears from the movie, but he comes back, he kills him, and then he runs to complete his whole thing because he realizes Peter's not going to be on his side. Not excusing it. It's not in the movie, so it doesn't count. I'm just bringing that up. That I will throw a little criticism there. The pacing and that's a little weird, but again, it's not even that like bad. He probably thought he did enough damage to fucking to Peter that he could get away and do his fucking do his shit. He probably thought it was enough. Then he thought he even fucking killed him by throwing him to the wall there. But again, regardless, he's just tweaking. He didn't mean it.
Me again. I'm getting stronger every day.
He literally had Spider-Man fleeing from him. He has no reason to go after him instead of simply going to Oscorp. And even if Spider-Man happens to show up on the way, he knows he can beat him. So
he doesn't know he can beat him. He's trying to kill him now.
The entire school fight is just a waste of the lizard's time.
I mean, again, not really. He's trying to fucking kill Peter. That would convince him to join him. Actually, you know what? Oh shit, no, that is his plan. He does beat on him a little bit, but he's also trying to convince him to, hey, stop, just let me do it. Trust me, it'll work out. And then when he realizes that isn't working, he throws Peter and then runs because he's going to go do the plan anyways because he realizes Peter's not going to be on his side. That's right. I almost forgot about that. So no, the plan actually does work. That actually makes so much sense. I tell you that exactly. Yeah. Oh my God, that actually does work. I actually just fucking remembered that the scene does actually make more sense. I tried to criticize it and it ended up making more sense. Lo and fucking behold.
Now, some people might try to counter this by saying that the lizard makes worse decisions because the formula is affecting his mind.
Okay, that's not the exact counter, but sure. You know what? Let's hear your counter to this one because I did use this one earlier.
That doesn't work if the lizard is shown to be intelligent even with the transformation.
He didn't say he turns into a fucking three-legged retard, bro. What are you talking about? Well, he isn't slurring his speech. He can speak English. He must be smarter than me. What are you talking about? That doesn't mean he's not crazy. He's insane. That's the point. That's very obvious. He was probably trying to convince Peter to be the super lizard at his right hand. 100%, yeah. Spider lizard. I should say I said super lizard. The spider lizard is right hand man lizard. Yeah, deadass though. He probably was. I think that was actually the kind of the point. He was like, "Hey, just stop, dude. Look, I'm trying to help everyone." And then when Peter starts fighting back, he's like, "All right, fuck you." He beats the shit out of him and then runs because he's like, "This is not gonna work. I'm not gonna be able to convince him. I'm just gonna go do my shit then."
Not only can he talk, but he can also do this mid-battle. So yeah, he's still supposed to be.
No one said he was stupid. They just said it made him crazy. It made him radicalized.
Smart. The best I can say about his character is that his motivation to create a world without weakness makes sense, and his backstory with Peter's father is a neat way to bring the two characters together. But Kurt's weakness in Kurt's motivation is that the movie doesn't explore it beyond throwaway dialogue. Kurt mentions how he's an outcast and that once his plan is done, he won't be alone anymore.
There will be no more loneliness, no more outcasts.
But the movie never
roll back the tape. What are you saying?
So, yeah, he's still supposed to be smart. The best I can say about his character is that his motivation to create a world without weakness makes sense, and his backstory with Peter's father is a neat way to bring the two characters together. But a large weakness in Kurt's motivation...
So a large weakness in his motivation...
is that the movie doesn't explore it beyond...
and the movie doesn't
throwaway dialogue.
Hey, SK, I don't know if you noticed, but he doesn't have an arm. I know. Shocking. The guy's arm? Gone. 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 No arm. Work for Disney or Bethesda because he sounded like an SJW. No, he's not SJW. He's just an idiot. Getting outcast by the science community, hence why he is now with Awkward and Zed. Could be thinking of... I think that is a different adaptation, but regardless, he's missing his fucking arm, and he very clearly says, I feel like an outcast because of it. There's enough in the movie to understand why he does this. It's not throwaway dialogue. That's totally viable. What are you talking about? What? He's missing his arm. That is the whole reason he's doing this research. And then he finds out not only can he fucking bring back his arm, he can fix just about any other problem that people have.
Kurt mentions how he's an outcast and that once his plan is done, he won't be alone anymore.
Is that not valid enough?
There will be no more loneliness, no more outcasts.
But the movie never develops this to a meaningful capacity.
What do you want them to do? I actually want to know what you would have done in this situation, given the opportunity to change the script. What would you have changed about this? What could you have changed to make this better? Because as far as I'm concerned, him saying no more loneliness, no more outcasts, and my arm will be back is more than enough for him to do this. He's trying to save the world in his twisted mind.
There's not a scene where Kurt is shown to feel isolated from others because of his missing arm. He's full capacity. There's not a scene where Kurt is shown to feel isolated from others because of his...
He's in an apartment by himself. He wears a wedding ring, but we never see his wife. Probably because they're not together. There's a lot of little shit that if you just look, you can put this shit together. He wears a wedding ring in the movie, but we never see his wife. That pretty quickly starts to imply some shit. Let's go one step further. Not only do we never see his wife, but we see the scene of him really looking in the mirror of the reflection showing his other arm. He's reflecting his arm back at him to see what it looks like to have two arms again. In that scene, again, it focuses a little bit on the ring on his finger. He wants a sequence where other scientists are bullying him and how he can't get a date. He wants his felt like that's literally has to be. It's subtle enough, but it's obvious that he just wants to make everyone equal. What?
His missing arm. He's shown to be well adjusted with others and open about his ideas to regrow his arm. There isn't a scene that gives the impression that Kurt was ever an outcast because of his arm. Not to mention that the movie never addresses Kurt's family.
You can't use that. That's outside adaptation. It's outside media. This is an adaptation. They can change if they want. But again, they do slightly by implying he has a wife, and they never say anything about her because there's obviously an implication there.
Which is limiting to the movie's ability to flesh him out as a character.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I agree that them cutting out the scenes with his family was a bad idea because they're pretty integral to the plot in terms of... They're not integral. It works without it, but still, it's really helpful for his character, and it makes his character arc much cleaner, because I'll be the first one to say, the Lizard's the weakest part of this movie. He is. He absolutely is. He starts off, it's just too choppy. His arc is way too choppy. It is. It doesn't have a good enough through line. It kind of goes boom, boom, boom. Maybe he lost his wife and his arm at the same time. Dude, any number of things could have happened. Exactly. There's so many implications. We never even find out why he doesn't have his arm. Because the whole point is it doesn't really matter. It doesn't. The implications are all you need to say, yeah, he fucking feels like shit not having his arm. He wants it back. Show that dude to fire his editor. I think he's his own editor, I'd imagine.
There's apparently deleted scenes that explores his relationship with the son, which, in concept, would help humanize him further and make his turn to villainy more tragic.
I agree, and I actually agree with that, yes.
But most of what's done with Kurt to set up his turn into the Lizard seems to be more focused on moving the plot forward.
You can do both? character development can work with the plot moving forward. Actually, that tends to be the same thing. But, you know, whatever. What do I know, right? I've never made a movie before.
Rather than also allowing the audience to understand him on a personal level, which is something the Raimi
I understood him on a personal level. I did.
movies were successful in regarding Norman Osborn or Otto Octavius.
What? What? Dude, Norman Osborn has almost the exact same arc. Actually, it's a weaker arc because he's just supposed to be a villain. It's the exact same setup, though. He realizes he's running out of time, he's running out of funding, he's about to lose everything, so he uses the serum on himself, he's skipping the human trials, and he's like, look, I'm gonna make this shit work. And it goes wrong. Does that dude have 45K? So 45,000 people subscribe to this man.
Especially when focusing on how they change and what this means moving forward. The Spider-Verse movies were also successful with this through their explorations of Kingpin and the Spot.
Kingpin gets one flashback. I don't know anything about his family in those movies other than that they didn't agree with the crime doing. Look at that. It doesn't matter though because the point doesn't his family doesn't matter. It more so matters how much they meant to him and how they push his character progression through the story. Obviously. And the Spot is just not a very good villain. I'm going to be real. He's just not very good.
There's also never a...
I don't think he is. I think the Spot is incredibly overrated for the fucking movie he's in. That movie is just not very great either. I'd like to do a video talking about why I don't like it. I'm afraid that if I watch it again, I'll get too biased. I just don't like the movie for a lot of the changes it makes it to Spider-Man. And I don't want to sound like this fucking asshole who just makes a bullshit to fucking get mad at. Or sound like Cosmo, who's way worse. Where I just sound more like I care about like fucking comics than the story being told. So I don't want to review it on that basis. I'm worried that if I review that movie or talk about it anyway, I'll get mad at myself. Like, I'll be way too biased and way too personal. I'll make bad arguments because of it.
Moment where his motivation gets directly confronted by Peter, or at least a moment where they have a meaningful interaction once Kurt is established as an...
I'm sorry. What?
Explorations of Kingpin and the Spot. There's also never a moment where his motivation gets directly confronted by Peter.
You're not yourself, Doc. During the entire school fight. Like, the entire school fight, he's talking to him saying, hey, you need to stop. Like, you also just don't have to have this. I mean, the guy you're showing right now on screen, they don't really have that scene. Once Osborn becomes a villain, he never stops being a villain.
Kingpin and the Spot. There's also never a moment where his motivation gets directly confronted by Peter, or at least a moment where they have a meaningful interaction once Kurt is established as an antagonist.
Here's what I'll say about this one. Because I think he's almost there, actually, at this point. I do think he's almost there. Except, again, the entire school fight is them finally learning each other's identities and confronting each other on their grounds for what they do and who they've become. The entire fight has dialogue in it where they talk to each other. These types of channels or videos are basically brain rot filler background noise. Essentially, they kind of are.
Given that they both shared an investment in helping the world, there is a conversation to be had about why either side believes in their methodology.
There is a conversation during the fight scene you're showing right now.
But that's never put to the forefront. There's not a moment where either of them feel betrayed by the other.
Why do you need that? What?
Once both of their identities are revealed, nor do either of them comment on or confront each other on this. Kurt doesn't have a reaction to the fact that the person who's fighting him is the person he mentored, and
because his mind is getting fucking jumbled up by the fucking lizard juice. Why would he attack Peter if that wasn't the case?
Peter doesn't have a reaction to the fact that the person he is fighting is his mentor.
He kind of does. Although, again, I do agree that it's kind of not really shown super well in the movie. Especially because this scene was butchered by the editing because of studio production and shit where they were like, we got to cut bullshit out of the film for some reason. This scene right here was butchered to hell. It really was. This is like the one point I can almost give him, though. I do think this is almost a valid criticism, actually.
So, if these two...
Don't they do that in the end segment? They do. But his point is more so they don't really have, like, once they find out who each other are, they don't really have a moment where they're like, So you're the Spider-Man, oh, so you're the Lizard, which I don't disagree that it's like, you don't need that. I think the movie's fine without it, but I don't think the criticism itself is any less, like, valid. I think it's a valid criticism. I just don't think it really matters much. I think quantitatively, I don't think it really would have added much to the film beyond the scene that they did cut out, which I do think is a great scene, where Peter and Connors actually have a direct confrontation with each other. That is a good scene, and it sadly got cut from the film. But again, I don't think the film is, like, objectively the worst thing ever because it's missing. It's just kind of like, oh, that sucks. That's a point off the meter, I guess, sure.
Didn't know each other personally, most of their interactions would be functionally the same. The confrontation in the sewer would play out the same. The confrontation at the school would play out the same. And
yeah, but what about the confrontation at the end? What about the thematic relevance of him trying to save this guy who he thought as his father, or he saw as a father figure, as a mentor? It heightens what's already there. Sure, you can cut that shit. You can do that with a lot of films. You can cut out a lot of shit. You can cut out all of Roz's and Bruce's fucking interaction at the start of Batman Begins. You can cut all that shit out, just have him be a bad guy in Gotham trying to shut it all down. But it heightens and it makes their relationship in Batman Begins much deeper and much more meaningful. You can do this with a lot of films. You can take away a section of something and it stops meaning as much. Cosmonaut tried to do this shit too. Again, it heightens what's already there. Because what's there is fine, but it adds to it and adds an element that makes it much more meaningful and impactful.
the final confrontation would play out the same. So what's valuable about the dynamic between the protagonist and the antagonist? This isn't a question I can answer. Another element I fail to understand about the Lizard is his moral boundaries. And while he is a villain, this is worth addressing, as villains can have moral boundaries in spite of their
yeah, they can, but they don't have to.
Villainous actions. Now, characters like the Joker or the Green Goblin basically have no bounds, but a character like Sandman,
it's not entirely true, but okay,
is not okay with hurting children. Darth Vader can't bring himself to kill or let his family die. Villains can
that's, I'm pretty sure, not true. Anyways,
have varying degrees of morals, and even this movie shows this. The Lizard tries to convince Peter rather than trying to kill him when he believes he easily could.
All these souls, lost and alone, I can save them, I can cure them.
There's another element to consider. He doesn't want to kill everyone. He wants to cure them. He wants to heal the world.
Don't dare finish that sentence. Don't do it. I'm sick of it.
I imagine this is why he didn't want to kill Gwen, even after she tried to stop him and used a flamethrower against him. The Lizard doesn't needlessly kill because he thinks he's saving people, so it makes it pretty strange for him to gloat to Peter about how many people in his life have died.
No mother, no father, no uncle.
Again, this is the point where the Lizard has almost fully taken over his brain. The comics do this too. I don't know why we're acting as if this is like so bad. It's like, this is, yeah, he's losing his mind. He's losing his marbles. There's a reason why he saves Peter at the end instead of letting him fall. Again, this is something that happens in the film. The film that I don't think you watched. He's not alone.
Strange interaction considering Peter and Kurt cared for each other, and the Lizard believes his creation will make it so Peter doesn't have to be alone. So
yeah, but so what? So he can still talk shit though, Dingling. What?
That he never has to face tragedy again. I thought that was the whole point of this.
There will be no more loneliness, no more outcasts. I can save them! All these souls, lost and alone, I can save them. I can cure them.
Yeah, but he can't bring his parents back from the dead, idiot. And he's pissed off at Peter because Peter keeps trying to stop him. That's why he's mad. So he's throwing out some fucking bad guy dialogue saying, fuck you, dude. Do you think you can stop me? You're too fucking, dude, you don't got anything, dog. You think you have the chance to stop me? You got nothing, man. Come on, man. You got nothing on me. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, what are you talking about? How is this relevant?
What makes this worse is that the Lizard is clearly willing to kill Captain Stacy, the father of Gwen, who he just spared earlier.
Okay, he is willing to kill Captain Stacy because Captain Stacy was shooting at him and stopping him. And if he didn't stop Peter before he fucked with the Gunai device, then it would stop his master plan. Like, this is totally within his moral reach. Yeah, this makes sense.
When all he had to do was disarm him, he could have broken his gun instead of stabbing him.
He could have, but he didn't because he's a fucking crazy monster lizard. What are you talking about? I know, shocking. This video is so bad. This is arguably worse than Cosmonauts. This is arguably worse than Cosmonauts. Because at least Cosmonaut, a lot of it comes down to like him just being subjective, but like portraying it as objective criticism. This is like objective criticism that's just all wrong. Except for one that's like almost valid.
He could have just ignored him too, because he's away from the cold gases and none of those bullets would do anything to him if he was to climb up. So he really has no reason to try killing someone he wants to save.
Because he's in the way. He kills him because he's in the way. And because he is blasting him with a shotgun. You're right, it can't, but he also got blasted earlier with rifles, and it did stop him for a moment before he self-healed. He doesn't instantly heal. You can even see it in the shot you showed, where his arm regenerates.
What's worse is that the lizard only because he's away from
I don't remember the scene. I don't care now.
Someone he wants to save, when he just spared his daughter who also tried to stop him. I suppose you could also apply this to when he tosses a bunch of cars off.
Again, he was a rampaging monster.
The bridge, which would have killed them if Spider-Man didn't show up.
And again, this was him not under any control. He did not control this monster at all. He was losing his marbles. He was like, what the fuck is happening to me?
So the villain of the story doesn't work. His backstory doesn't make sense. His character is inconsistent, leading to his plans not making any sense. And nothing about his dynamic with Spider-Man.
His character is completely consistent. What? Hang on.
So the villain of the story doesn't work. His backstory doesn't make sense.
His backstory makes all the sense it needs to.
His character is inconsistent.
It's very consistent.
Leading to his plans not making any sense.
His plan makes perfect sense.
And nothing about his dynamic with Spider-Man is executed effectively.
What is his plan with Spider-Man? To stop him and stopping him?
The lizard alone does significant damage to the story. I figured that Peter and Gwen should have on sections because many of my issues with them will overlap. While I think the idea behind Peter's character arc is interesting, and it has a lot of good elements, there are parts of the execution that damage it. This opening with Peter Parker is great. It does a good job of showing where he is as a person at the start. He's a good kid who tries to make good choices, but he can also be tempted to do bad things under the wrong circumstances, which is shown well once he gets his powers. I also like many of his interactions with Aunt May and Uncle Ben. My first issues arise when Peter tries to sneak into Oscorp to learn about his father.
No.
I don't know why he's trying a risky plan like this in the first place, considering he can just reach out to Connors at his home. He's shown doing that
because he doesn't know Connors. He doesn't know him at this point. He hasn't even met him. So he tries going to his work first.
Later, so I don't know why he can't do this from the beginning.
He can. He chooses not to. He chooses, I'm gonna go try to talk to the guy first.
And if he made the decision that makes more sense for his character, then he wouldn't have his powers in the movie. So
what are you talking about?
Significant consequences to the story. It's not only impractical, but it needlessly screws over someone who earned their place in—
Fuck off with this bullshit argument. Cosmonaut tried to do this shit too. No. Stop. The guy who got thrown out was not a real person in real life who got thrown out of a real life internship. It's a part of a fucking story. Stop overly sympathizing like this. It's so weird. Like, yeah, a bad thing happened to someone. It's not okay. It's not cool. Why are we acting like Peter's a fucking monster? He did something selfish and shitty. Yeah, that's kind of the fucking point.
The internship, and this seems to be at odds with Peter standing up against Flash.
It's almost like it's selfish. It's almost like because at this point he didn't think there was any route to find out anything new about his father and didn't have any hopes of fucking doing anything with that information. He didn't have a fucking hole that needed to be— oh, he had a hole, sure, but it wasn't something that was sinking yet. When he finds the briefcase in the starts of the movie, after this scene, that's when the mystery starts, and that's when that hole deepens and sinks, and that's when he starts looking for that father figure. His life isn't fucked forever either. Exactly.
At school, I don't think Peter would—
The intern's fucking fine. The kid really couldn't attend a random nerd museum. My God, I bullshit. Exactly. Like, sure, it matters, but it's like, dude, it's fucking— they're acting like this is irredeemable shit for Peter. It's shitty. It is. He's an asshole. Yeah, that's the fucking point. He's a selfish dick in this. That's the whole point of this scene. He's not supposed to be not redeemable. He's not supposed to be seen as like, oh, that's a good thing he did that. No, you're supposed to be like, oh, that was kind of fucked up.
In the internship, and this seems to be at odds with Peter standing up against Flash at school. I don't think Peter would do this if he had any other choice. He also doesn't do a good job hiding himself from Gwen when he knows he could be exposed for this. He's shown trying to hide his face earlier, but when Dr. Connors asks a question to the students, Peter randomly decides to speak up.
No one?
Cross-species genetics.
And you—
yeah, and it's— You fucking scumbag! Oh my god, did you see how he edited that shit? If no one even knows, hang on, let me fucking fuck you, you fucking bitch. You bitch. You're a fucking coward.
Cross-species genetics.
You can see in this scene, he's hiding in the back. He's hiding intentionally. He just wanted to say it quiet or loud enough just so he could hear the answer. Then, as you can see, before he cuts it conveniently, everyone starts to move out of the way, revealing him. He's even looking down and looks up like, oh shit, they see me.
And you are?
He's one of Midtown Science's best and brightest.
Really?
Oh yeah, Gwen finds out about this too. Gwen saw firsthand what happened to the real Rodrigo, and she knows that Peter is impersonating him, which got him in trouble with Oscorp and left him completely humiliated. But when she talks to Peter about it, she simply laughs this off, even though
she doesn't just simply laugh it off. She's very clearly pissed off at him. Very clearly.
That kid's day is ruined and that's Peter's fault.
Oh, boo-hoo! The kid's day is ruined. Why, the whole movie's terrible now. Irredeemable trash. He's worse than Tony Stark at the beginning of Iron Man 1. No! Just like in Iron Man 1, I'll use that as an example. He's a fucking piece of shit in that movie. He's an asshole. He is a huge douche. Yet we don't think, oh, fucking Tony Stark for the rest of the film is this evil person who fucking deserves to die. No. Like, get over it. Actually, yeah.
And by extension, it's Gwen's fault because she doesn't speak up about it and try to reach Rodrigo so he gets his rightful place in the internship back.
Maybe because she's covering for the guy she likes, even though she's mad at him for this. Maybe because she's covering for him. And also maybe because it's like, it's probably just too late. The guy got thrown out. He's probably already moved on. How does she contact him? Does she know him personally? The video just sounds like a Madvocate wannabe. Who's Madvocate? That sounds familiar. I'm gonna look this one up. Madvocate. Oh, this guy. He kind of gives the same vibes, but I'm pretty sure he calls him a fucking shill. Oh yeah, grifter right here. It's just funny, dude. Oh man. Yeah, Madvocate's kind of funny. Although I think he has some iffy criticisms too. Just a little bit. But I do find his videos actually funny, so I can allow it. Just like Cosmonaut, dude. Cosmonaut, I think, has horrible takes usually, but again, I look at it like this. If you're funny, I can almost allow it. This guy's not funny. He's not entertaining. His editing sucks, and he's actively being manipulative now with the editing, which is like a major piss point for me. Like, that immediately makes me mad at you. How dare you edit this in a manipulative way so that your point becomes more sincere? You're just a liar. These are killed troops. We don't say Tony is a murderer whom is unredeemable. Dude, yeah, what he did was objectively worse. He got troops killed.
She enables Peter to do this and laughs it off with him.
What do you, yeah, do you, what, huh?
Which is all.
She doesn't even laugh it off with him. Again, as I said, she does not laugh it off. She does not do that. It's not what happens. She does laugh, she chuckles, but it's very clearly like a friendly, like, haha, yeah, you're in trouble, dude. That's fucked up of you. Don't fucking walk away. I want to talk to you about what the fuck is going on after this. Because you're here for a fucking reason.
Also at odds with her character, since she went out of her way to defend Peter when Flash was bullying.
Yeah, defend who? Who? Say it again. Who is she defending?
Which is also
what was that, huh?
Character, since she went out of her way to defend Peter when.
Oh, defended Peter. So she can't do that twice. No, now it's out of character. What the fuck are you talking about? She likes him.
Flash was bullying him, and she commended him.
God!
Stand up to Flash.
I thought that was great what you did out there.
That's one of the reasons given for why she likes Peter. So Gwen looking the other way and even laughing it off when Peter ruins someone's day is making it hard to buy their relationship.
Why does that make it? I support you, Peter. That's not reasonable. I support you even though you did something that was fucked up, Peter Parker. It's not realistic. Are we gonna see another? Is this guy gonna be as gay as Cosmonaut was, where he was like talking about how like he wants to see more of guys kissing?
What are you doing, Rodrigo?
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing here?
I was gonna say I work here, but it seems like you in fact do work here, so you know that I don't in fact work here. I just snuck in because I love science.
Peter is obviously lying. He doesn't have a good reason to steal someone's identity and gain access to.
That's why she doesn't believe him, and she says we're going to talk about this later, because right now she's in the middle of guiding a fucking tour, which is related to her internship, which takes priority.
Oscorp resources. Peter could have criminal intentions for all she knows.
What the fuck is this nerdy fucking kid from Queens gonna do? What does she think he's gonna do?
She barely knows Peter by this point. Is she not at all concerned by this?
I'm gonna ask you more about this later. Do not get me in trouble. Stay with the group.
What? What are you talking about?
So she's fine with keeping him around and enabling an impersonation of someone as long as she doesn't get in trouble for it? Not.
What are you talking about, dude? I've already addressed this. It's not about her. She doesn't think he's going to do anything too fucking crazy, which, by the way, he wasn't going to do. He wasn't. He starts walking away a bit because I think he was going to go talk to Connors in that scene, and then he gets sidetracked because of he bumps into this guy. She probably did. She was like, stay with the group. What did you expect him to do?
To mention that if they find out that Peter did this and you let him...
I'm pretty sure she also says, I'm not going to take the fall for this. I'm pretty sure that's almost like an exact quote from her. I think her point being, like, if you get caught, dude, I'm not defending you. You're a piece of shit. Fuck you. You're going down for it.
Do it, then you're caught aiding and abetting a criminal. Again, I don't buy this for her character.
Why? She's defending the person she has a crush on.
This makes her look really bad.
It doesn't make her look really bad. Maybe a little realistically, humanly selfish. And again, she punishes him later, and she's very clearly not happy. You can see by the expression on her face in this shot here, she's not happy with him. She's not. She's very confused and almost concerned.
And even if this was within Gwen's character, the movie doesn't criticize either of them for this.
You're right. No, you're so right. Peter being a selfish dick at the start of this movie, and he never has anything. No repercussions ever happen to him. You know, his uncle doesn't get shot in the fucking chest and die because of him being an asshole and selfish. That doesn't happen. Never happens. No, you're wrong. It never happened. You said you watched this movie? You clearly didn't. SK watched the movie, dude. Clearly. This is what I'm talking about, dude. This movie gets hated on way too much. Way too much. This movie, people just make up shit and they go, oh yeah, no, see, it happened. See? All these reviewers said it happened. It's like, you guys just didn't watch the fucking movie with any brain power. You didn't.
And because of that, they end up glossing over their flaws, which is...
They don't gloss over the flaws. Flaws would make us human. And when you're in high school and you have a crush on someone, it tends to be almost like... It tends to be some surface level shit that you can look past the flaws pretty easily for. That's how high school relationships work. It's very realistic.
It's not a great way to start the relationship. While this doesn't ruin the relationship in totality, it is worth addressing, and trust me, there is more to break down as we move along.
Okay.
She actually finds out that Peter might get her in trouble, so she kicks him out.
Alright, give me badge.
The next time we see them, she doesn't seem to have an issue with this, and just pretends it didn't.
Again, she doesn't just pretend it didn't happen. She's very clearly upset, but it's a small thing. You walked away when I told you not to. Give me your badge. It's not like he fucking killed someone. She didn't see anything wrong with him. He just stumbled away. I told you once, don't do it. You did it. All right, get out. She very clearly punishes him by doing that. Peter was still probably wanting to talk to Dr. Connors in that moment. Now he can't. And he has to go out of his way and go to Connors after reading his book, by the way, which is how he gets the address.
Happen, even though from her perspective, Peter just ignored a vital request she made to avoid the risk of losing her job. Why is she okay with this?
Because she punishes him later.
I wanted it to happen, is that wrong?
If anything, this is a sign that Peter doesn't respect her.
Or he's more preoccupied with the reason he came here to begin with than the girl he really likes. He does really like her, but he's also like, fuck, I really need answers.
And when Peter goes out of his way to needlessly humiliate Flash, which would only escalate things between them, Gwen just laughs it off.
What do I even say to this shit anymore? SK didn't watch this movie. I don't think he did. I actually am confident now. I'd put money on the fact that I don't think he watched this within the past year. I'm not adding else anymore. This guy's a LARPing Reddit loser. He really is. Holy fuck, is this guy an idiot? Wow. What do I even say anymore? I don't know if should I even fucking finish this point? I think it doesn't matter anything else. I don't think any criticism he can come up with now, no matter how valid it is, matters, because he's intentionally editing clips from the show, from the movie to make them appear much more like along with what he's saying, which is lying. He's lying now. Actively, he has lied in this video to make his point seem more valid, which immediately makes me go, you no longer have any right to speak on anything in this fucking video if you're lying. No, he was like doing some colorful editing beforehand. And I think it's to avoid copyright if you show mismatched audio and video. And again, but the video matches, so I'm fine with it. That you deliberately cut out a shot that showed him hiding. Anything new? It's just a void of nonsense. I'm about to just put it on 2x speed and just like let it play and just listen for anything, like anything that's really bad. Or you know what I might actually do? I might skip. There's no response. I think I'm going to skip this entire section because I don't think he has anything else to add. I don't think so. What do we think? Are we thinking skip this entire I'm going to give him like 1 more minute.
And doesn't have an issue with that either. She's helping Flash with school, so she does care about him to a degree. And Peter is...
Yeah, and she cares enough about him to say that he's an idiot in front of all of these people. Of course.
Mostly displayed negative traits in her experience. So why doesn't she tell him off for this, or at least show a sign of disapproval?
She literally does do a... There's also the transcript feature. Oh, is there? Is there actually? Oh. Where do you find the transcript? Where do you see that? No settings. Unless you mean like just subtitles. I learn new things every day. Options. Nah, that's all just shit. Okay. Damn. All right. I don't see it. See if you can tell me. Mr./Mrs./they them Admiral Helm. I'm sorry. That was something funny. That was very awful. That was disgusting. You are totally valid for unsubscribing, disliking, and just leaving. I would not blame you for having that just be said. But anyways.
Why is Gwen so quick to say yes to Peter asking her out?
Because she thinks he's cute and has a crush on him.
When she barely knows him.
Because she thinks he's cute and has a crush on him.
The little she does know of him, from her perspective, Peter has willingly ruined someone's day.
Ruined? Oh my fucking god.
Illegally.
We've already talked about it. Let's just move on.
That person.
It's not illegally personating them. It's not illegal. You won't get charged with a crime. This guy's a fucking idiot. He thinks that cops will just arrest anyone they don't like.
And put Gwen out.
This person never had a date before. Dude, it's like the people who fucking talk shit about this relationship in this movie, it's always the same 2 types of people. Gay idiots. It's not all gays. It's just the idiot gays who want to see 2 guys making out instead of a guy and a chick. Or it's fucking just virgins. That's it.
Risk of losing her job against her wishes, and unnecessarily provoked drama between Flash.
Unnecessary. He was bullying him. He's been a bully. Flash was also being a dick to the chick, and Peter stood up for her.
Even if she thinks that Flash deserves it.
I wanted it to happen.
Okay, even if she does.
Peter isn't much better, and she doesn't acknowledge this at all.
Peter doesn't beat up people. Peter doesn't start fights. Peter doesn't lift up kids by their fucking pants and force them to eat their food off their fucking table. He doesn't start anything. He finishes it, sure, but he doesn't start it ever. Hell, most of the time he doesn't even fucking finish it. It's only that one basketball scene. That's the first time he fights back. Before that, he just gets picked on by everybody.
She should have an issue with both Peter and Flash, but she ignores all of Peter's blatant weaknesses as a person, so I already don't buy the relationship.
Because you're a Reddit fucking loser, incel fucking virgin, yes.
Peter's character is at his best.
It is on the bottom of the description, you think so? Oh! Admiral Helm is my new favorite subscriber. New favorite subscriber. If you are a subscriber. I don't know if you are, but fuck yeah if you are.
In this movie, when he's not around Gwen, funnily enough. I love the scene where he's testing his powers on a skateboard.
It's a great scene.
I reject the criticism of him using a skateboard. It's cool that he's using it, and it makes for great visuals.
I agree.
His interactions with
I actually really agree. I actually really like the skateboard.
Connors are good because they show his naive use of his smarts, while also building off of Peter's desire to learn more about his parents.
Yes.
And his relationship with Connors is generally believable and interesting to watch. He has some great interactions with May and Ben before Ben dies. Ben's responsibility speech is pretty solid, and I like how Peter doesn't take it well at all.
Why is this all in the Peter and Gwen Stacy section? Shouldn't this be in like a things you like section?
It feels very human for Peter to deflect blame onto his dad and for Ben to take immediate offense to it when he does that.
Yes.
Good stuff here. I love when Peter slams the door in anger and it
shatters
Ben
oh, so good.
Know that he has power.
Such a phenomenal
and I
scene.
like Peter's reaction to Ben's death. Andrew's acting is brilliant. Peter's interactions with others are great. And this shocking event gives a good reason for Flash to cut Peter some slack and reflect on the value of showing kindness to others, which supports his growth at the end. And I really like the moment where Peter comforts his aunt, acknowledging that it's now just the two of them in the house, showing that he has to come to terms with that. And this is really where the movie peaks. Instead of webbing him up for the police, he runs away after finding out it's not the guy who killed Ben, and allows him to leave. Why would he do that if he makes sure the other criminals get arrested? This is inconsistent with the arc they're trying to go for. There's also a part—
Again, we don't see him not web up the guy, though. You're just saying it because you didn't see it happen. It must not have happened. But again, you can imply that he could have webbed him as he was running and then ran away. This could have happened. I've already said this in the Cosmonaut video. It very much could have happened. You never directly see him not web up people. It might be like someone implied there, but you could absolutely just imply the other direction. If something's implied, you can always imply the opposite. Almost always. It's vague enough that it comes across because he's not focusing on capturing them. That's why the movie doesn't focus on him webbing them up and giving them to the police, because he doesn't really give a shit. He could, though. He absolutely could. And we see him capture at least one guy, so clearly he's willing to do it. So why is it unbelievable he's capturing these other guys, or at least webbing them up and letting other people call the police? We don't get that, though. So I'm going to skip to his next point here, because I don't think he's going to come up. Actually, I could just read this really quick. Burns are wearing a mask, kind of defeats the annul now. While I like the concept here, hiding his injuries from May after getting worried as well. So the interaction in the movie is a bit forced. Peter was focused on a car thief who didn't put up a fight. He easily evades the cops who barely put up a fight. Then he comes back with these random injuries on his face. He got hit by a truck and or by several vehicles. Hit by several vehicles. On his face, such a relative encounter. Did someone drop a fridge on him? Force, even if it's a good in isolation, there's also this weird scene where Granite lands on the fire escape, and how's it good to see through the window, which could make her suspicious of being Spider-Man. Again, he reveals that he's Spider-Man in this scene. It's very obvious he was planning on revealing that to a certain degree. It's a big deal. Okay, so this is just, again, I don't know why we're like all of this shit is the Peter and Gwen station. It's like, this is way more than Peter Parker and Gwen. So let's skip ahead.
We're not given that, which again plays into how unbelievable the romance in this movie is. Before Peter makes it to the bridge, they show us—
They did, absolutely. Thank you, Admiral.
Instead of changing into Spider-Man right away.
Kind of defeats the whole anonymous superhero thing.
Now, Spider-Man does do a great rescue. He webs many of these cars and has a really great scene where he saves Jack from the car. It forces him to become a hero and learns Captain Stacy's criticism of him.
It does.
It's great. He has when he serves others rather than just himself.
Yes.
And it legitimately feels—
Oh, I should have put in
this scene
faster
is
speed.
almost perfect until he swings away from the bridge when there are other cars behind that need saving.
Why? What are you talking about? There's other... What? Put it at 1.5. There we go.
We know this from Captain Stacy's criticism of him. He sees the impact he has when he serves others rather than just himself, and it legitimately feels great for him. This scene is almost perfect until he swings away from the bridge when there are other cars behind that need saving.
What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Did you not see the scene where everyone gets out of their cars and runs away? It is very obvious that it could be implied that even if there were people in there, they're probably going to be okay considering the cops are arriving right as Peter is swinging off. They probably have a multitude of ways of helping those people, I'd imagine. He saves the kid because he hears there's a kid trapped in a car, and he goes, oh, fuck, I probably should save him at least. The hanging cars are empty. No, that's what I figured. Yeah. Dude is smoking crack, I guess.
Why? We know at least one of these cars has a person inside, so not everyone was evacuated. And if one of them...
Okay, sure, one of them. That one single one had a guy in it. And the other one that did, he saved the person.
Could set on fire, then the others could as well. So we should be checking those cars instead of literally...
Again, we see the cops. I think he's just trying to bug out before they fucking capture because he's still learning. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired,
it
boss.
undermines the point of the scene, and it's disappointing.
You're a fucking bitch, boy. Shut up. It does not undermine the scene.
Peter then tries to go to Kurt to find vulnerabilities for the lizard. In that scene, he also learns that Kurt himself is the lizard. Now, Peter makes a series of choices here that are completely out of character. First,
okay, I'd love to hear how this guy thinks he's out of character. Let's hear it.
He lets Kurt leave. Kurt could...
He lets Kurt leave? What? What do you want, huh? He doesn't realize he's the lizard yet
possibly gone
until
Peter could easily catch
well after he's gone, and then he sees the fucking rat eating the other rat, and he starts taking a second. He goes, hang on a second. Oh shit! And then he realizes Connors could be fucking anywhere. How do you know he didn't immediately start running after him?
If he followed Kurt, he could have talked to him and tried to ask him what happened or see if he even knows what happened. He also could have followed him as Spider-Man to prevent him from entering his...
He could have! But Kurt was already gone!
hideout, which would allow him to talk him out of becoming the lizard again, or at least prevent him from hurting more people. Letting him leave is the most dangerous thing Peter could do.
He doesn't know he's a fucking lizard until after he leaves.
And the reason he let...
Rewind? Here.
Swinging the other way. It really undermines the point of the lizard. Now, Peter makes a series of choices here that are completely out of character. Firstly, he lets Kurt leave. Kurt could not have possibly gone far, and Peter could easily catch up to him. If he followed Kurt, he could have talked to him and tried to ask him what happened or see if he even knows what happened. He also could have followed him as Spider-Man to prevent him from entering his hideout, which would allow him to talk him out of becoming the lizard again, or at least prevent him from hurting more people. Letting him leave is the most dangerous thing Peter could do.
Again, he only realizes well after Connors has left the room, and even if he did fucking go after him, any number of ways Connors could have escaped. Jesus, excuse me, I fucking burped there. Oof. He could have escaped the building any number of ways. And how the fuck is he supposed to try and do his hideout if he doesn't know where the fucking hideout is? He doesn't know he's in the sewers. He doesn't know that yet.
And the reason he let him leave was so he can run to the cops about it and report his name. Why would he go to the cops about this when he knows Kurt isn't in full control of his actions and is being affected by a serum?
So you just admitted that you know that he's not in the full control of his actions, which immediately dismantles several of your other points about him earlier. That completely actually demolishes, like, at least half of your arguments in this section, by the way. I just want to throw that out there because that's fucking hilarious that he just said that. Dude, this take is wild. I don't understand. Ugh.
If Kurt isn't in control of his actions, then how is it fair to have him arrested for this? Peter was there with him to make the formula. He knew that Kurt wasn't trying to hurt anyone. A good version of Spider-Man would realize this and not try to ruin Kurt's life like...
Ruin Kurt's life. Kurt is willfully turning himself into a lizard as far as Peter knows. And Peter learned from his last mistake and is now trying to actively stop this guy by he's trying to actively stop Connors by going to the police like Captain Stacy told him to do. Indirectly, but he still told him go to the police. He's like, okay, I'm going to do that. He's then dismissed by the police because it sounds ridiculous and he realizes, fuck, I'm going to have to stop him.
This, especially one that has a close connection to him.
When I break this story, it'll be Pulitzer time. I won't let you ruin Connor's life.
It comes across as overly unsympathetic to Kurt, especially since he knows the police can be unfair to people. And this isn't even a good plan. Normal people would get killed by the lizard. Peter knows this.
There's people on the bridge, whatever was attacked.
Because he thinks that he can be arrested as the lizard. Or not, sorry, as Jesus. Before he becomes the lizard. He clearly is a human at this moment. We don't know what turns him into the lizard. Clearly it has something to do with the cross-genetic fucking serum that he's been working on. So Peter theorizes that as long as he stops him from turning into the lizard again, he can do that. You know, you could like, yeah, good, go get him, guys. He's Connors right now. He's a human. He's got to stop him from turning into the lizard again.
I'm gonna kill them. I gotta go after it.
So if the police go after Lizard, then they're likely going to get themselves killed.
Only if he turns into the lizard, which I'm assuming Peter probably knows, hey, he's not a lizard right now after fucking seeing him not being a goddamn lizard. I'm tired, boss. What douche? Well, that's too bad. That's too damn bad! Keep on digging!
Peter, on the other hand, has powers that can contend with him and is looking into Lizard's weaknesses. And even if the police can stand a chance against the Lizard, what's stopping them from successfully killing him? Peter has first-hand experience of almost being shot by a police officer. What makes him think the same can't happen to the Lizard if he assumes the police stand a chance? Either way, this plan reflects badly on Peter's character.
Why would he think they're gonna fucking kill him? He probably wants them just to arrest him.
And even if this was a good plan, why didn't Peter get evidence of this? He presented nothing to Captain Stacy when he has a camera that could take photos of the mutated...
Hey, you know that giant lizard that you guys are talking about right now? I know what's going on with that. Or, hey, you know that guy that threw shit off the fucking bridge earlier? Yeah, I know what's going on with that. Wow, isn't that crazy how you can just say things like that? It's so easy. So easy just to explain simple shit.
Mouse, and this is where things really begin to fall apart for Peter's character. Peter goes into the sewers to confront the lizard, but doesn't actually follow up on his plan to look for any weaknesses. He brings no materials with him that could be used to lower the lizard's temperature and slow him down. Thanks to him and Gwen's access to Oscorp.
Stop. What?
Things really begin to fall apart for Peter's character. Peter goes into the sewers to confront the lizard, but doesn't actually follow up on his plan to look for any weaknesses.
SK, I know you're real fucking slow. Just want to break this one down for y'all really easily. He sees a Daily Bugle newspaper that says reward for getting a picture of him. So he figures he would go get a picture of the lizard because that would also be valid evidence to give the police, like you said earlier. God damn.
He brings no materials with him that could be used to lower the lizard's temperature and slow him down. Thanks to him and Gwen's access to Oscorp, they could feasibly access chemicals that can be used to slow down the lizard. But more importantly, Peter says this to Gwen.
We need an antidote. Do you know how to run a serum?
This happens way after his first encounter with the lizard, by the way. This is like near the end of the fucking... This is nearly the climax of the film.
Access the cross-species file. It's a blue serum.
Got it. On my way. Antidote complete.
So this whole time, Peter knew how to make an antidote, but...
Hang on.
Lower the lizard's temperature and slow him down. Thanks to him and Gwen's access to Oscorp, they could feasibly access chemicals that can be used to slow down the lizard. But more importantly, Peter says this to Gwen.
We need an antidote. Do you know how to run a serum? I need to access the cross-species file. It's a blue serum. Got it.
Okay, just want to make sure. So there is an antidote that is not made by Peter. It's in the files at Oscorp. Peter does not have access to Oscorp. Gwen does. And Peter is currently in the sewers. He's going to try and get a picture of the fucking lizard. What are you talking about?
My way. Antidote complete.
So this whole time, Peter knew how to make an antidote, but he didn't think to bring this with him when confronting Lizard into the...
He didn't... He doesn't have access to Oscorp. He doesn't. He doesn't have access to those files. You're all sharing the same brain cell trying to watch that video. I feel that.
He also swings to Gwen's house and arrives without a mask on when the police are currently hunting down Spider-Man. He does the same thing after they leave too.
No one seems to grasp the concept of the mask.
He also...
Okay, at midnight, do you think the cops would see a teenager flying through the air? You guys think that would happen at midnight? I don't think it's possible. I just don't think it is. I don't think the cops are gonna see him like that, man.
Masks himself at the school when the police are literally on their way right now.
It's called a secret identity.
When reaching the third act,
I'll agree that him taking off the mask in that school area is really stupid and does not make sense. I'll agree with that one. It would make sense if he went to the bathroom and took it off. I agree. That one I'll give him that one. Although again, that's a fucking nitpick. It really is not deep enough to be an actual genuine piece of valid criticism. But that is valid enough to be like, yeah, sure, that's fair enough, I suppose. Don't think it matters, but sure.
Peter learns about the lizard's plan to go to Oscorp and release the lizard formula onto the city. I don't know why he doesn't call Gwen immediately after this. It's shown to be daytime when he calls about the serum. He then learns about Lizard's plan, then only decides to warn Gwen after she left the school and all the way to Oscorp when
He learns about the plan, leaves the sewers, and then immediately calls her. He was trying to leave the sewers for any number of reasons. To see shit? That's valid, dude. That's valid. Oh! Oh, God damn it.
Ago wouldn't have been so bad either.
Why is Peter just...
We're skipping this, dude. You're such a fucking idiot. All right, Uncle Ben. Let's hear him. I can't be fucked. I really can't.
Now, I know it's unexpected to have a section about Uncle Ben, but I think even he has a fair share of inconsistencies with his character. Now, Richard Parker wanted him to keep the briefcase safe since it had dangerous research in there that he would never want to get out, and would most definitely say to keep it safe from Peter. It's only after the lizard's creation when Peter realizes why he'd keep this a secret.
See, my father had been working on it secretly. Now I realize why he kept it a secret.
If Richard Parker knew how dangerous this research could be
in the wrong hands,
and reasonably
wouldn't
bet
told
about this,
me.
then why does Ben have this briefcase unlocked in his basement?
I'm sorry. What? Hang on. The computer is safe since it had dangerous research in there that would never want to get out. Same with Peter is only after the lizard's creation when Peter realized that he had a secret. Something my father had been working on, he knows secretly. Now I realize what he could secret. Richard Parker knew how dangerous his research could be in the wrong hands. He easily would have told May and Ben about this. No, he wouldn't have told May and Ben about this because that would have implicated them, and Oscorp could have killed them too. What? Why would he tell them that? Unlocks. Ben has it unlocked in the fucking basement because, you idiot, all of the files, everything that was in there that was like actually genuinely hidden was a secret compartment. Everything else was a calculator and a pair of fucking glasses. And a picture of the two of them, of Connors and Parker. The other shit was hidden in a secret compartment in the fucking thing, which like told him to keep it safe. And guess what? It was in the fucking basement. Oh my god. Guys, I'm gonna let everyone else decide. Do we finish the video? Do we even finish it? Do we bother? Oh man.
Digging and found it one day. It didn't seem to take much effort for him, especially when you encourage him to do so.
It was literally hidden behind the stairs. Peter only saw it because he was trying to see if anything was worth salvaging from the fucking flood.
Hey, before you come up, see if there's anything else worth saving.
Oh, well, maybe he forgot about this really important thing that Richard told him about.
Yeah.
Forgot all about that thing.
Yeah, he did. Why would he not? It's a fucking briefcase. He looked at it before, saw nothing, and he just fucking put it behind the stairs.
Why would he forget about something like this?
Because it's a briefcase. Why would he care that much?
It's happening the way that it does is the reason the lizard exists in this.
Not worth continuing. I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna skip to the next sequence, dude. If you can make a clean 20 minutes, the last 5 minutes is gonna be something to lock in. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's skip to Oscorp. Makes no sense.
Out of character. Now, Oscorp itself is getting its own section because so much surrounding that building doesn't make any sense, and the first noticeable set of problems are present during its introduction. Now, from the jump, Peter's impersonation plan should not work. Oscorp should have photo IDs to verify their interns, but for some reason they don't, which honestly defeats the purpose of having an ID at all if you can just pretend to be anyone. Apparently.
There's a lot of reasons why that's stupid. One, where would they get the fucking photo from? Two, it's not an ID, it's a name tag. It's a fucking name tag. You sign up for the course at the school, I'm assuming, saying, hey, I'd like to go to an internship here. I'd like to go on a tour here for class. I'd like to go do that. It's probably a field trip. So they just have name tags. Look how cool that is, dude. I immediately figured it out. They're just name tags. Why would you have a picture on a name tag? It's kind of not necessary, man. Especially for an intern who's going to be there for a day.
All you need is a card and a big smile.
A man can do anything if he has those.
Imagine if someone wanted to steal Oscorp data or resources. It really wouldn't be hard, which is especially bad, considering Oscorp is supposed to employ the bad guys.
I think we're good. And that's all she wrote, folks. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you made it this far, you're pretty cool, and I really appreciate you. You're awesome, and you mean the world to me. Thank you so much. As I said at the start of this video, if you would like to see me dig more into this review properly, go through the whole thing, all arguments, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And that's about all I needed to say. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and peace out, my Foxy family.